Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ and as part of our Sundance 2023 coverage, we are kicking things off with a new movie review. I am excited, maybe that's not the right word to use for this movie. I'm going to be jumping into Sometimes I Think About Dying. Sometimes I Think About Dying is a new film from director Rachel Lambert. I'm actually not too familiar with her work, but she came into this movie with a distinct style, tone, and vibe to her work. I actually understood everything I know about this filmmaker, though this movie is not particularly my favorite kind of movie. These very indie-rific comedies, that's gonna be a word I put in quotes because while I did laugh, this movie is way too mundane to be a comedy. Yeah, this is not my type, like my usual type of jam. I go into movies like this a bit hesitant, a bit nervous, especially with a lead character who is in the position she's in, with the dryness that she has. I expected this movie to be very, very dry, and I was not let down there. This is a pretty dry, slow, and prodding movie, but there is charm to it. There is things that work. There is something of merit here. I understood what they were trying to say. There's definitely a very important scene with our character Fran and another character named Carol that I thought really sold the thesis statement of this movie, and I was just like waiting for that moment the entire time. It just feels for an hour and a half that this movie was, it just dragged on more than I was expecting it to. I was enjoying the ride, but I just kept being like, so when's the wow moment? Where is the oh my god factor of this? And I know that doesn't really fit in with the tone of this movie. We're watching Fran, who is living a very mundane, boring life in the office, sometimes fantasize about dying in very weird and dark ways. But at times, these fantasy scenes don't get dark, or don't get as interesting, or don't get as compelling as they could be. I was waiting for these surreal moments of dream-like wanting to die to be more engaging, but it's very artsy and beautiful. I'm glad the score was in this movie because there's not a lot of dialogue to make up for things like that. Yeah, this movie has a lot going for it, but it just didn't personally work for me. Fran, played by Daisy Ridley, has the most mundane life. She goes to the office, she works in the office, she goes home and eats cottage cheese and watches nothing, basically. Like, her life is pure boring, and she kind of thinks that's the way it is for her. And you know, there's almost a woe is me quality of like, wow, my life is just so hard. So she just lives her life, and things are just going for her, and things are just going. And that's just what a lot of this movie is just watching Fran try to live life. And there's a new guy who comes into the office named Robert who sparks an interest with her, and Robert is adorable, filled with some of the worst jokes I've ever heard out of a human being, but there's a charm to him. And you know, Fran and Robert start to connect a little bit more. And that's kind of the plot of the movie. We're just watching Fran get out of her shell a little bit, kind of realize that she's not the only one with problems in her life, and two, that sometimes feels like life is not as easy as she expected it to be. I think there's a millennial quality to that, where a lot of us think like, wow, this life is so hard. How could it be so hard for us millennials? And it's just like, look at Carol's life, look at Robert's life, look at these people's life. Everyone goes into their own drama, their own stuff, and we don't really take into consideration of what they're really going through, other than Meg Statler's character in this, who is the most insufferable office manager, boss lady I've seen in a while. Meg is a great actress. We all know her from the Hi Gay internet thing. Genius level casting here, because she plays annoying office lady so well. So yeah, I like that this was trying to go, look, your life may be hard, but everyone's life hard. Everyone's life sucks. Like, come on, just get through it. So there was a positive message to it. I just was like, okay, that I got what I needed from it. I needed more. I needed a bigger wow factor to it. But that's not to take away from the movie, because not every movie needs to be a big splashy, over-the-top drama with heady, like, surreal, crazy 10-hour scenes. But maybe that would have spiced this up just a little bit. The movie's quirky, there's an indie charm to it. I can definitely see this gaining a fan base, especially with Daisy Ridley fans. I've never seen her be this good of an actress, and I did enjoy what she offered here. This isn't my personal cup of tea, but it's not a movie I just genuinely hate. I just saw what it was, and I'm going to say it's not for me. But I hope you all enjoy it. When this movie comes out, I hope you get a chance to watch it, enjoy it, digest it. Maybe you can get more from it than I did, because I said I like it. I just didn't really get it, quote unquote. But that is my first review for Sundance 2023. I will be covering 4 more movies on this crazy long journey. So make sure you guys subscribing to Flickering Myth. Give us a thumbs up and make sure you comment down below.